voicemail. I'm out here in the club, I'm just listening to the song, and I could just picture you dancing to it. I know this is not.
Yes, you've got brands talking. Brandlife.co.za.
Hello and welcome to Creative Ghettos, the show that explores various creative industries and profiles the Africans who push them forward. Each week I spend 30 minutes unveiling excellent and inspiring individuals within creative industries, including, but not limited to, fine art, architecture, design, food, film and literature. My name is Kwanele. Thank you for joining me right here on brandlife.co.za. The abundance of entertainment media in the US and other parts of the globe allow for audiences in those countries to connect on more than one level with the people who tell stories through film and television, whether they be actors, directors, or everyone else in between. Actor Spaces is an online magazine which promotes excellence in South Africa's acting sphere and allows for industry professionals as well as the general public to engage with and learn about the talent that gives us many of our best loved films and TV shows. The founder of Actor Spaces, Ayanda Sithebe, is my guest for today. Ayanda, welcome to Creative Ghettos.
Thank you so much. That was like a good read. Like I was like, shucks, I'm at a radio show. That was beautiful.
Although it's not new to you because you also host your own podcast.
Yeah, I guess that's because I don't do it as well as you just did it. So that was just beautiful. That was beautiful. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. So let's begin. I want to start with, getting a clear view of the man behind Actor Spaces. Tell us, who is Ayanda Sithebe?
Oh, that's a difficult question. So with my students, every time I start a class with new students, I always ask them, who are you? And I think through that process, I sort of ask the question to myself all the time. And it's very difficult to really answer that question. But like you said, I'm Ayanda Sithebe. I was born in Ladysmith. I don't have much memories of myself in Ladysmith because I think immediately I was born, I moved from Ladysmith with my grandmother to Soweto, Middlelands. So I grew up in Soweto, like ordinary Soweto boy who just wants to wake up and go play soccer, go play with your friends, I was just saying earlier on now that the story of a young black guy who grew up in Soweto. I moved a lot around Soweto, from Pimville, Middlelands. I've stayed almost everywhere around Soweto. So yeah, I mean, humble story, humble beginnings. Like just seeing my grandmother like really doing the means for us to really like survive or go to school. Black family, the whole house was always packed. I'm trying to think now, but it was always a lot of people in the house. But my aunts and
which adds entertainment value
all the time, and I think that's what draw me in actually to the craft, acting, because I would sit somewhere in the house and look at all these characters around me, and that was just like entertaining to a certain degree. Yeah. So that's Ayanda. Simple. I'm married. I've got 2 kids, Mpilo and Minentle. So yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's always hard to talk about yourself. Like, yeah.
I know, it's like standing in front of the mirror.
Yeah,
I get it. But how did you get into the film and television space?
So it's amazing. I think growing up, I always created stories in my head. Like I used to have like wild imagination. I'll sit and like see an entire movie in my head. And I remember I used to tell my friends like movies, like I would say I saw this movie last night, and I would believe that I saw that movie and it will have a start and an ending. But only to find out that movie I created myself.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. I use sort of other movies that I've seen to make this one movie. So I think I've always been a storyteller. Just growing up, I always thought in pictures. But I remember this one time in school, there's a gentleman by Ali Makwela. He's late now. He came to showcase a monologue, and he was going to Grahamstown. I think he was doing a fundraise to Grahamstown. And he performed a monologue. He had a crate and he performed this monologue. He was in tears, and I looked at him and I was like, I want to do that. Like, you know, and I think from that day I decided I want to do that. I want to act. I think that's how I sort of started the journey of acting. And then after he finished, I ran to him with a group of my friends, and we're like, look, we want to do what you just did. And then he came back the following week. He's like, okay, guys, I'm here. You guys have a school. There's a rehearsal space. Let's rehearse. And I was like, okay, this thing is happening. And at some point, he was like, we're going to Grahamstown together. And I was like, what?
Wow.
So we started doing the thing with him, improvising a lot. By the time, we didn't even know that we were writing the script, because he would like action, and then we'll do things, and he would like put together a story. And we ended up having a play that's written by us, not knowing that we were writing the story. So that's how I got sort of introduced to the industry. And then from there on, I've been like, then I started really, I think Ali Makwela disappeared. I don't want to get to that story and how it all panned out. But anyway, he disappeared. But before he disappeared, he had introduced us to another group. The group was called M&M. It was done. It was Purple, not Purpose. It was M&M casting agency, but that did classes, and that agency was founded by. I feel bad now. I'm forgetting her name. I forgot her name, but she's a legend, and she's late as well now. She recently just passed, actually. Mary. Okay, I forgot her name. But anyway, she had a school as well that had an agency. So before Ali Makwela disappeared on us, he had introduced us to that school. They did workshops, and they were an agency. And then I went and joined M&M. And yeah.
And when you were acting, were you only doing stage, or were you also were you in films and television?
So mostly we were doing stage, the so-called sketches of some sort. But we were very different because we had more structure. You know, we had scripts, and the plays had beginning and an end. They were written. They were all solid. So so I did a lot of stage, and then started going to auditions for TV. And then I started doing TV as well. Growing up, I did few things on TV. I remember I did Soul Buddies. Yeah.
Okay, so you sold us those buddy bands.
You know, so I did Hillside. People might not remember Hillside, but a story in a hospital, whatever. Did a couple of ads. I even remember my first ad I did was with MTN. So they were introducing SMSs. Now I'm exposing my age.
No, you really are.
Yeah. So they were introducing SMSs, like not really introducing SMSs, but they were like they're doing a marketing around SMSing.
Yeah.
So the campaign was called SMS Ya Saver, and this was done by Bomb. It was an amazing ad. So the ad, this guy, your checker, and then the father comes back early, and then he must run away, and then the friends text like, hey, Baba, go out, this person is coming. And then it was a beautiful sort of narrative. It was directed by Debo Mahlatz. Is Mahlatz? But anyway, yeah. But it was with Bomb, and it was an amazing experience. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
I want to get into Actor Spaces.
Yes.
What is it all about, and how were you led to creating the platform?
Yeah. So Actor Spaces, really, like it's always hard to really describe it, but because there's so many things within it, but the core of it, it's us honoring actors, celebrating actors. I don't think our actors are really celebrated enough.
Amen.
So it's us really. It's a platform that's really set to honor and celebrate actors, and really bring dignity and respect to the craft. You know, everyone wants to act these days, so we're trying to really bring that respect to the profession of acting, to the craft of acting. And then most importantly as well, we towards development. You know, we're very keen in developing aspiring actors so that when they come into the industry, they've got sort of a know-how, you know, how things work. So that's really Actor Spaces. And we communicate this mission in different sort of pillars of the business. You know, one of them being the online magazine, which is actorspaces.co.za. So where we feature profile actors, which also works as a resourceful platform for actors, you know, or aspiring actors. We've got a tab there called Actor Tools, where you can just go in and how to prepare for an audition, and so forth. But we want to expand that resource platform where you can get monologues, where it could be a library for actors. That's the online magazine. We've got master classes. Our master classes are sort of divided into three rather. We've got master classes talk, where it's just conversations or established actors sharing their experience. We've got one happening on the 10th of June.
The Sunday.
That's the Sunday. It's got the likes of Hamilton Dlamini, Vincent Muloi. It's got beautiful speakers. And then we've got master classes one day where it's practical. So you come in, it's practical, we give you scripts, you act. So that class is designed for you to know whether you are meant for this industry or not. So you'd leave that place knowing whether you are talented or this is meant for you or not, in a way. And then we've got 3 months programs as well that we do. So we're very big on development as actor spaces. But then again, there's another business side of it where we do photography for production companies and channels as well. Our biggest client is Mzansi Magic. So most of the time when you see new dramas or season 2 dramas, the pictures when they go on ad break, we do those, or pictures when they launch the shows on magazines and stuff like that, we do most of those images.
I love the idea behind celebrating South African and even African actors and giving them a space on the web where if you're in a different country and you really want to know about what's happening in South Africa, there is a destination to go to. Why do you think it was important that South African or even African actors as a whole have a wider digital footprint?
Look, for me, I think we lack in archiving our legends. We lack in archiving icons. So for me, that was the main thing. Is you know what? You've got the likes of Gibson Kent. I don't know if you know Gibson Kent. That
of
me
course.
exposing my age
course.
again. Yeah, but a lot of young people don't know Gibson Kent, right?
Yes.
And because he was not well documented, you go online, you don't find a lot about him, and he did a lot for the industry, especially the theater space. So for me and my team, it was, how do we archive actors? How do we create this platform that if you go in it, you see, this is an overview or the landscape of the acting industry in South Africa. We want to even produce a hard copy of actor spaces once a year that could be distributed in airports, so that when even directors from overseas and whatever, when they come to South Africa, they open that book, they see, these are the most important actors in South Africa. Because even our actors, sometimes they get disrespected by international people because they don't know who they are, because, if you go to other magazines, tabloids, whatever, you're not going to know who the actor is, so we design differently. We're not a tabloid. And that's why I think that's what I love, that you're not a tabloid. Yeah. And I think that's why they come to us. We don't get actors saying, no, I don't want to do an interview with Actor Spaces, because they know they're coming into a space that honors them or that celebrates them. They know they're not going to go there. We're not going to discuss private, things that
don't have anything to do with the craft.
Yes. So they know if I go to actor spaces, I'm going to talk about my craft. I'm going to talk about the process. I'm going to, and actors, they really love that. So they love community actors. That's why you go on every set that you go to, there's a lot of fun happening there while work is happening, because actors love being together. So I think we've created a space like that where actors can come together and share their experiences and yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I'll have more with Ayanda Sithebe after this.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za, an industry first in the world of internet radio. Not only are we an internet radio station, we're an internet radio platform for your brand. So why not expose your brand to potentially thousands of listeners and improve your customer relationships and brand equity with podcasts and live broadcasts? Be sure to check brandlive.co.za for more information. Brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of internet radio. Making a bold statement yet blending into the surrounding suburbs of Melville, 27 Boxes is a realization of edgy design and practical implementation. A radical departure from the shopping malls of our generation, yet not a return to the high streets of our youth. 27 Boxes showcases the best of a shopping center set in a garden surrounded by the bohemian suburb that is Melville. 27 boxes, shop, play, eat.
Welcome back to Creative Ghettos. I'm still being joined by Ayanda Sithebe, who is the founder and CEO of Actor Spaces. You know, we were talking about how a lot of people, a lot of industry professionals will gravitate to your platform because you keep the integrity of the craft. And the one other thing that I wanted to speak about is you have a very holistic approach to celebrating this industry of yours, because you cover actors, directors, writers, and producers, etc.
Yeah.
Why was it important to not only just focus on the people that we, as an audience,
See on TV
interact
every
with
day.
all the time?
Yeah. So the flip side to that, before I answer your question, is that I had a conversation with an organization that I'm not going to mention, but anyway, it was silly. They don't see actors as filmmakers, which is very strange, right? Whereas with actors, actors respect like the entire process around them. They respect the fact that there's a director, there's a producer, and it becomes like an ecosystem of some sort that we make it work. An actor without a director, without a scriptwriter, there's no acting, you know.
Yes.
So I think that's where we saw the importance of, even when we speak to these directors, it's not really from the director's technical aspect of it. It's more on how do directors work with actors. Because there has to be a form of a relationship there
Yes.
from actor. And that's why it was very difficult to okay, we don't include directors and. So we sort of had to have a conversation with everyone who's sort of a role player within the industry. So our take was that, nope, let's put them in one space. You know, as much as the actors here are taking center stage, but let's sort of include the people that are behind the process to make these actors sort of shine.
Because they're
Yeah.
important too. They're very, very
No,
important.
they're very
Okay,
important.
so South African productions, for me, in my own opinion,
Yeah.
they seem to have found an open door to freely express ideas in dynamic
Yeah.
ways. Who are these phenomenal script writers,
Yeah.
firstly,
Yeah.
that we now have, and what do you think inspired this exciting level of storytelling?
It's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful time to be alive and be an artist, be an actor, be a producer. There's so much happening around us. I don't know what's inspiring this vibe that's happening, but it's a good vibe.
It's an amazing vibe, yeah.
People are writing and it's amazing and we're enjoying it. I really can't pin it down to something, but I know most of the industry people are really, really enjoying what's happening within the industry. But I think again, it's growth, man. I think there's a lot of people that paid the price for where we are now. You know, some people did these things without money and stuff like that, but now at least there's budgets to do these productions. But I think the growth of television as well has a big impact in what's happening now. Because there are opportunities now, you know, the channels are opening up, the channels are engaging independent producers as well. So you don't have to be a bomb or a big production company to have your story commissioned by a channel. So I think that as well is really helping. I know now there was a show called Inkululeko on Mzansi Magic. That show is really done by young newcomers, but they partnered them up with a established production company. So I think that's helping as well, so that we don't close doors for the guys that don't have the experience, but we open up, because that's where the stories are, you know. I think sometimes the well-established people, sometimes, you know, they get redundant, or I mean, sometimes you need fresh blood, you know. So
Collaboration.
Yeah,
it's the power of collaboration.
So I think there's so the good wave, again, I think it's influenced by the industry opening up, the channels having more channels. I mean, back then, you go back there was no Mzansi Magic, there was no Mocha Love, there was no ETV now has got
E Extra.
yeah, it's got 5 channels,
Yeah.
you know. So I think that's opening up the industry, because once you open up those channels and whatever, then there's a demand for content, and then people just, you know, But that being said, I do think it can get better.
What roles can the general public play to ensure that the film and television industry in South Africa reaches a desirable financial and cultural success?
Ah, that's a tough one. Yo, what are you doing to me? All right.
You know why I ask?
Yeah.
I ask because when I finally got to know that I'm going to book and that I'm going to speak to you, the first question that came to my mind is, why is it that I recognize Meryl Streep as just Meryl Streep, but then when I see Mewa Tidi from Rhythm City, I will always see her as Mewa Tidi instead of Koni
Wow.
Chiume. So the general public does have a role, some role to play with cultural success and even financial success of the industry.
Wow, that's powerful. Wow, I'm taking it in, right?
Okay,
So
no, take it.
I think I think there's a culture thing, right? That we don't support our own, and I don't know where we get that culture thing, and I don't want to stereotype it to say black people, we just have this thing of not really celebrating our own success, and I think that's why that's why young black people really, there's so much delay around ourselves. We have a culture of not supporting ourselves or each other. Like it's bad. Like, and that's why our businesses most of the time struggle so much, because we don't support each other. You go to the townships, we're at tuck shops, but we're not supporting those tuck shops that much. Now we have other tuck shops owned by people from outside the country, and we flock into those shops. So I do think there's a culture thing here where even these actors sometimes, when they're doing great things, we're like, okay, that's fine, but let them do like one big mistake, we crush them like nobody's business. We can even finish their career, even this Black Twitter thing, can either really destroy your career, or I don't want to even say make your career. So I think as a society, I think there is that really bring him down sort of syndrome thing that's happening around. Because if we can really start supporting each other, I think that's where we're all gonna grow, in our own sort of different industries and stuff like that. If there's a painter who's selling a painting, buy it from the price that he's saying, I'm selling this painting for 500. Don't say because it's Tsepo, then you're like, Tsepo, So I think those things. So people must consume content, but celebrate it, embrace it. And I think so it's a culture thing. It's a culture thing that must just break.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you won this year the Young Achiever Award at the SAFTAs, the South African Film and Television Awards. What has this meant for actor spaces?
That was amazing. I mean, I've always dreamt of holding a SAFT as an actor. But my journey changed, and I went towards more acting coaching and directing and so forth. So for me to really, I read the letter now and again when I'm feeling down, because actually I should post that letter, because it says, SAFTAs we want to honor you and your excellence and your contribution to the industry.
Wow.
And I'm like, what?
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
We're contributing, and so oh man, so what it means to me, it really cemented like what we're doing. Like it really said, you guys are on the right track. Keep going,
Yeah.
And the energy is different as well in terms of how we're approaching things. So it was a very, very important moment for us. Like it has changed. Like now we've been working, but now it's like, there's that fuel sort of, it was like a recharge for us, to like, guys, the country's watching, the country acknowledges what you're doing, go more for it, And for us, we're not doing it for a SAFTA, but when it happened, it was beautiful. So it has really changed a lot. It has changed how we look at things. It was changed like because the approach was like contribution to the industry, and we're like, okay, we're contributing, so let's go more. And so now it's even more about the people more than us. It's more about the young people that can't reach the industry. So it has opened up like big time. So the SAFTA has been great, and we're thankful to Stay Clinical as well, because they sponsored the award.
Hey now.
And that relationship now is allowing us to use Technical Cinemas as for our master classes, which is great.
Let's talk about masterclasses, actually. Actor
Yeah.
Spaces will be hosting masterclass talks with various industry professionals.
Yes.
Please tell us more about the talks and who
Yeah.
will be involved and how can other people get involved.
Great. So the masterclass it's a talk. So we have like 4 masters. I know Tato Mulam is our MC. We've got Hamilton Dlamini. We've got Camila. I hope I remember all of them now. We've got Vincent Mlo, who did Jovijo. So these amazing speakers. And we've got an agent as well, Anna, who's a founder of Kandos Cam. So these industry professionals on the 10th of June, they'll be sharing their experiences. They'll be giving young people the do's and don'ts of the industry. They'll be giving them an overview of what the industry looks like, And we feel like that's a very important part for development as actors, because actors sometimes they go in blindfolded. I meet young girls every day, even boys, who like, I want to act. Can you help me act? And you're like, have you done anything? Have you done any research? You know what the industry looks like, and they don't know anything. And those are the young people that sometimes are taken advantage of within the industry, because they don't know the know-how. They don't know who does what. Look, no one should take advantage of anyone in the industry, right? Whether you are a director or whether you're a gift. But sometimes even people that are they're like at the door of the industry, because you don't know, they will take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Like someone. I don't want to make an example because I don't want to undermine any roles within the industry, because they're all important. But someone who is an extra, right, who is an extra, and they will tell you, no, me, I do this and this, because you don't know, you end up finding yourself in dodgy spaces and whatever. So for us, the masterclass is about really, really informing young people about the industry. So
and it's great that your price point is amazing. 150 Rand. That is like, I don't know, I just feel like that is such a huge achievement for workshops, because workshops always start at 600 and some
seats
crazy
and
number, but really it shows that you're really wanting to exchange information with people.
So my team kept fighting with me as well, like, no, look, you have Hamilton there. And I was like, guys, for me, it's about accessibility to the industry.
Yes.
Even the system we're going about, people buying tickets on links.
Yeah.
I was frustrated by that. I was like, there's a boy down there, in Middlelands that doesn't have access to data or whatever. Or even if they do have, this link won't make sense to them because they don't have a bank card or whatever, but they can get money from Ukoko, and they can have 150. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But for me, it's about accessibility. I don't want actor spaces to just look pretty with all these beautiful actors posing nice. We should touch on the ground.
Good design looks like that. It is accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
As in the iPhone.
No, we don't want to be exclusive.
Okay. Very quickly, very quickly. When it's all said and done, what would you like to be remembered for?
Contribution. I'd really like to be remembered for contributing to making the industry accessible to young people. We're currently now working on, trying to develop an app called the Monobank. So the Monobank, I want to go to the rural areas and shoot young aspiring actors there and put them in this app that directors here in Gauteng can just access and look at all these amazing performances from these young people. So I really want to be remembered for contributing towards the development as well of the industry, especially on the grassroots level.
Ayanda Sithebe.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a million for coming through to
Thank you
Creative
so
Ghettos
much.
this week. More importantly, thank you for playing such a big part in elevating your industry. You can follow Ayanda on Instagram at @Sithebe, and also keep up to date with South African actors on www.actorspaces.co.za. To find out more about the Africans who drive various creative industries forward, make sure to follow Creative Ghettos on Instagram at Creative Ghettos. My name is Kwanele. Join me again next week, Friday, from 2 to 2:30 p.m. for another impactful show. Bye for now.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
This one's explosive.
brandlive.co.za.
Lunatic, 'cause I do what I want, and I get what I want when I want it. You know life can be so ordinary. Boy meets girl, they said will make a baby.
brandlive.co.za.